tonight.
To hear that, you get something expired, it's like, again, it was unbelievable.
A Regina pharmacy is investigating why more than a dozen people were given expired COVID-19 vaccines and what it means for them. And the province's projected surplus is on track, but it's not translating into more relief money.
That there's no surprises for them today.
Plus, turning old into new. A Saskatchewan company reuses wood from old grain elevators.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It's Tuesday, November 29th. CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. Hello, and thank you for joining us. As hospitals in this province are under pressure, health officials are urging people to get vaccinated against the flu and COVID-19. But a Regina man who tried to do just that is upset he and his wife received expired COVID vaccines. As Yasmin Regina reports, they weren't the only ones.
Jignesh Padia thought getting his third COVID shot would be just like the others, but it wasn't.
We did notice that, the pharmacist appeared a little bit kind of, tired or kind of, again, it's probably a very nice guy, very nice person, but we felt like, something was off.
Padia and his wife got their booster shot at a Safeway pharmacy on November 19th. They were told it was the new bivalent dose.
It felt a little bit weird in terms of fatigue kept continuing for several days, and my wife was feeling a little bit shaky.
Then this past Friday, Padia got a call from the pharmacy.
It was an unusual call saying that, hey, how are you feeling?
Padia was told he and his wife got COVID vaccines that expired more than 2 weeks prior, and the doses they received were not bivalent. They only protect against the original coronavirus, not the Omicron subvariants.
I just was very frustrated and upset because it was like we're trying to do the right thing. We're protecting my family and others by getting this vaccination, and to hear that you get something expired, it's like, again, it was unbelievable.
Pharmacies are supposed to throw out expired vaccines. Padia has asked the pharmacy regulatory body to investigate the incident. Sobeys, which owns Safeway pharmacies, says 15 people were given expired vaccines at the Regina location. In a statement to CBC, the company said it's doing an internal investigation. We sincerely regret that this has taken place and have apologized to our patients for the situation and inconvenience. This is contrary to the clearly outlined vaccine administration, storage, and safety procedures we have in place at our pharmacies. It's also trying to find out whether expired vaccines are still effective. Padia says he hopes to get that answer soon, so he'll know whether he's protected. Yasmin Regina, CBC News, Saskatoon.
Saskatchewan's finance minister says the province is on track to reach a $1.1 billion surplus. Donna Harpower provided a mid-year financial update this morning. Unlike her last update, it was void of any surprises, happy or otherwise. Adam Hunter reports.
3 months ago, the provincial government announced its projected deficit was gone. In its place, a $1.1 billion surplus. Much of that thanks to higher than expected non-renewable resource revenues. Today's mid-year financial update provided less shock value.
I think that they should feel secure that we, basically haven't changed from this first quarter, that there's no surprises for them today.
In August, Harpower announced the province would spend $450 million by giving $500 affordability checks to every tax-filing adult in the province. The opposition NDP has been asking for more affordability measures, including cancelling rate increases on power and energy bills. Harpower says the government did not consider that.
We made a substantive investment of $450 million in total that will go back into individuals' pockets, into households. And we're well, mindful that we still have the lowest utility bundle in the country.
The NDP says the $500 checks are not enough. It wants the government to take the provincial sales tax off a long list of products.
Our call is simply to, of course, scrap those nonsensical taxes, to cancel the rate hikes for power and for energy as we head into winter at a time where families are making some of the hardest choices with their budgets.
If you haven't received your affordability check, HarPower says there was an issue with printing. She says everyone who filed their income tax on time should get their check by Christmas. Adam Hunter, CBC News, Regina.
Bison have long been a part of Agribition, but for the first time, they had their very own day. Indigenous dancers and drummers kicked off Bison Day at the Regina Livestock Show. The event featured presentations about bison, some of which are being sold at Agribition. Producer Robert Johnson says buffalo meat is becoming more mainstream. He also wants people to know why bison are sustainable.
Go to any regenerative conference and they all say graze, plan your grazing plan the same way that the bison did 5,000 years ago. And just their hoof action and their impact on the environment is so important from an ecological standpoint. So for me as a producer, we obviously want to do what's best for the environment.
Indigenous elders at the event say commercial farming is one way to restore bison to the prairies. Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe, who attended the show this morning, said bison are a significant part of the province's livestock industry. Wooden grain elevators in Saskatchewan were once a rural landmark. Now they're disappearing, often burned to the ground or torn to pieces and dumped in the landfill. One Saskatchewan company is looking to dismantle them without completely demolishing their history. CBC's Dane Patterson brings us this story.
Wooden grain elevators like these in Kenniston are the skyscrapers of rural towns. At least they were. Two of the town's 3 skyscrapers are coming down, but they'll live on elsewhere. Inside this elevator rests outdated machinery and wood that's been worn into art. If you run your hand across it, you can feel the history.
And you can see the sculpting. If you look at the shape of that, you can see the natural grain sculpting.
The company ABMT Wood Solutions is looking to save most or all of the wood from these elevators. It's a delicate process, unlike the alternative. Alvin Herman's first project was tearing down this century-old elevator he owned in Milden, Saskatchewan. It was a liability, but he didn't want it to end up in the landfill.
I just found myself allergic to the demolition and burning and, polluting the environment. I thought there was real salvage there.
We're getting rid of it.
There are other owners like Herman, people who consider the elevators to be as much a part of their family's history as their hometowns.
We had a few family reunions here, and we would open up the elevator and go up the man lift, and all the kids thought that was pretty cool. And they would run over into the annex, open the windows, and you could look out over the town. It gave quite a view.
But holding on to the now obsolete elevators is a burden that's either passed down the family tree or to the town. They cost thousands annually to maintain and tens of thousands more to demolish.
It's one of the few communities in Saskatchewan with this kind of backdrop, and unfortunately it comes down to finances, and you can't change what's going to happen. Tomorrow's another day.
But ABMT recognizes the elevators are made with timber that is difficult to get your hands on. It's ideal for decorative work or construction. The massive pieces can be used for mezzanine or dance floors or new housing.
This wall behind me, this is a nail laminated mass timber wall. So imagine the whole wall cut out, and then it's you add insulation to it, and then you have, let's say, 10 of those panels that are now used to reconstruct a home. So the house can be put up in panels, kind of like I guess like a Lego kit.
ABMT is working on a residential 3-bedroom show home with those panels now. It's quicker, affordable, cuts back on deforestation, and has a low carbon footprint. In the future, you may be standing or dancing on a wood floor that once reached for the sky. Dane Patterson, CBC News, Saskatoon.
A time-honored sales practice is evolving into a new form of shopping. Auctions are gaining popularity online as online shopping becomes more entrenched. The main reason? Product returns. As consumers send back unwanted items, retailers and distributors are turning to auction houses to try to retain some of the profits and keep products out of the trash. CBC's Paula Duhachuk has the story.
It's a busy Saturday at this Calgary auction house as shoppers pick up the treasures they won the week before.
I got a vacuum cleaner for $7 and that usually goes for about $78.
Hot air brush. Yeah. We got it for cheap. $11.
I think my total invoice was $160 and it retails, I'd say probably like $700.
The reason prices are so low, many products have already been bought and returned by someone else. The owner buys returned and excess merchandise by the truckload and is always surprised by what's inside.
It's kind of like Christmas for the staff when we're opening up the skids because we don't know what to expect.
It's not the only auction house getting into this business.
We basically had the liquidator call us, saying we've got extra trailers, do you want to buy some and be in the return business? And we said yes. It's almost become a full industry of selling online stuff.
Research suggests about a third of merchandise bought online ends up being sent back. It isn't clear how much ends up in liquidation, though one retail expert says it's on the rise.
I would say over the last few months, there would be a significant percentage, much more than usual, that's off to the liquidators.
Some see this as a way to keep products out of landfill.
The retailers that we deal with are trying to be responsible and get the product out there again.
Others say seeing just how much is bought and returned leaves them with mixed feelings.
It kind of shows you what people do, how they'll buy a wedding dress and return it after they use it, where they'll take a tool and destroy it and return it anyways because they don't care.
Still, the return liquidation business is strong, and with holiday shopping season picking up, the amount of online returns will keep feeding the industry. Paula Duhachuk, CBC News, Calgary.
If you think of a historic moment, that you are safeguarding the integrity of that history and that you're not allowing it to be denied in the future.
Marie Wilson knows a thing or two about bearing witness. That was the theme of the Wichihitowin Conference in Saskatoon this week. Wilson is the former commissioner for the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Canada, and she closed out the 8th and final year of the event. The conference was created to honor residential school and 60s scoop survivors and to support the Commission's calls to action. Wilson said that the sustained interest in the conference reinforced for her that the Commission's work wasn't in vain and that things will change. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back. A special class in Edmonton is giving kids with disabilities the chance to express themselves through dance. The program offers students a creative outlet for their emotions and improves their self-esteem. CBC's Emily Fitzpatrick stopped by a class.
9-year-old Malcolm Coles looks forward to his dance class all year.
He doesn't have to be different in this class. He's just a kid dancing.
Dance Without Limits lets its students do just that. Over 12 weeks, these young dancers learn to move and express themselves in any way they want. And all that hard work comes together with a final recital.
I think it's really important for disabled kids to get a chance to just feel joy in their bodies, and that's what he gets to do here. He gets to be a kid who loves to dance, and he's supported in the ways that his body needs to be supported.
The program is a partnership between Cerebral Palsy Alberta and Ballet Edmonton. Classes are led by a dance instructor and a physical therapist to ensure these students are in great hands.
And all of those children that are coming here today, they love dance. And here we are trying to provide for them adapted dance classes, but at the same time a lot of fun, but also a lot of physical activity.
Many are shy in the beginning, but each week their demeanor shifts as their self-confidence grows.
It's amazing to see the transformation. They don't see their differences or disabilities. They just know that they're in a dance class and they're enjoying movement. And you know, the music is a big part of it, and it It enables the right brain to kind of help the left brain and some of that coordinative stuff come together.
The program is still small, offering just 2 courses, but the hope is it will expand to bring movement to as many special children as possible. Emily Fitzpatrick, CBC News, Edmonton.
This weather update is brought to you by Capital GMC Buick Cadillac. 22 model clear-out is on now.
Heather Morrison joins us now with a look at our weather forecast. Heather, are we finally done with the snow?
I would love to say yes, and I can, but only a brief break here, Natasha. Let's take a look at what's going on currently in the province. So we still have that tail end of that low that's been moving through since Monday, late Sunday evening it arrived. It's still moving through. It's finally going to get cleared here very soon. So as you can see, it is moving on, and we're going to have a nice clear day tomorrow. But that's our break. See that system starting up in Alberta? Here it comes. It's going to be arriving in the west portion of the province by tomorrow evening, and then it's going to start moving through. So unfortunately, yes, we are done with the snow, but only 1 day's break. And then that'll move on, replaced by another low, and then finally by Friday, we're going to break from all the snow and all the shoveling. In terms of how much we can expect, as you can see over the next few days here, it's not that much, about 7 to 8 centimeters, just 6 centimeters down in the southeast corner of the province. That's not much compared to what we just shoveled out over the past 2 days. But that's only part of the story. I just want you to take a look here at the upper atmosphere. As you can see it moving through there, you can see those purples and those dark blues coming into the province. That's cold Arctic air. We're going to be sitting in this trough in the upper atmosphere, and that is really driving our temperatures down. Let's start with where we are right now. So let's look at our current temperatures around the province. So it doesn't look too bad, we're thinking, hey, it's 6 o'clock at night, but these temperatures are really about 4 to 5 degrees below what is normal for this time of year, and it's just going to get colder. Let's take a look at what we're going to be waking up to tomorrow morning. So as you can see here, we've got, we're waking up to temperatures around minus 21 in Saskatoon, minus 21 in Maple Creek, and then in Regina, minus 17. So now this is where we're getting to be about 10 degrees below normal. And I hate to say this, but it's not actually going to warm up that much more throughout the day. I think Saskatoon's high tomorrow is minus 18. And that is just part of the story, because we also have the wind chill factor. As you can see, quite cold in the northern part of the province, with the wind chill feeling like minus 32. This is tomorrow at 9 a.m. So it's going to be a very cold night tonight in the province, and including in the north. And so there's a risk of frostbite in a lot of these areas as well. So we've got this little bit of snow clearing up. We're going to have a pretty clear day tomorrow, but as you can see, it's going to be quite chilly. So let's take a look now at the 7-day forecast here for Regina. So waking up tomorrow, and then we're going to wake up to about minus 17. As you can see, the high is minus 16. That's where we see it's not really warming up, because we can't push that cold air that came in as we sit in that trough. Then we've got those flurries coming in on Thursday. We're going to stay cold, and then finally by the weekend, that's when things start to improve. Very similar story in Saskatoon, but getting much colder. Look at those lows, Natasha. Thursday and Friday getting down to minus 30 and not warming up much by Saturday, because that warm up's going to hit the south first and then make its way up through the province. But as you can see, it doesn't really warm up that much. We're still looking at minus 27 right now for Monday. So Natasha, that's a look at your weather forecast. I hate to say it, we're getting rid of the snow. We're getting a lot of cold. We're well below seasonal this time of year.
You've outdone yourself, Heather, with each board making me more and more discouraged this evening.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. Yeah. I just really want to make people feel horrible.
No, thank you so much. We appreciate it, Heather.
You're welcome.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders have signed Canadian kicker David Soley. Saskatoon-born Soley is fresh off of leading the University of Saskatchewan Huskies to the Vanier Cup. He had an 83% completion rate this past season. Soley was named a Canada West All-Star this year and first-team All-Canadian in 2021. In years past, he was a CJFL national champion with the Saskatoon Hilltops. Stay with us. We'll be back after the break. Authorities in China are clamping down on protests against the country's zero COVID strategy. Police and other security forces have been breaking up street demonstrations and making arrests. Universities are also ending the fall semester early and sending students home as health officials try to defuse the situation. Earlier today, a leading health official said lockdowns should be short and quickly lifted. He said the classification of any areas as being high risk should be based purely on scientific evidence. There have been accusations some local governments have been imposing COVID lockdowns for political reasons. Long and severe lockdowns have sparked international concerns about the country's economy. There have been several days of demonstrations and calls for the resignation of President Xi Jinping. These are waves of lava lighting up Hawaii's night sky. They're spewing from the world's largest active volcano, Mauna Loa. It is erupting for the first time in 38 years. The Hawaiian Volcano Observatory says at this point the lava flows are not a threat to nearby communities, but authorities have not ruled out that it could become dangerous. Heather Morrison is back with another look at the weather. How is tonight shaping up, Heather?
Well, the nice thing is that in Saskatoon and Regina, the snow has basically cleared. Let's take a look here at what it's going to be like overnight here in Regina. So -14, take a look at that wind chill, -23, and then it actually gets colder for the morning, -19, -26 with the wind chill as we head throughout the day. Not much of a warm up, as you can see, -18 by noon. In Saskatoon, going to be an even cooler night. So we're hitting -18 with that -25 wind chill at midnight. And then in the morning when we're waking up here, we've got a wind chill of -30. And then again, not really warming up too much throughout the day, -19 with a wind chill of -27 and part cloud cover. So I think the story here, Natasha, is if you haven't shoveled all that snow, get out and do it tonight because you're not going to want to be doing it in the morning.
I've already done it, thank goodness. Good advice. After that chilly forecast, we'll leave you with something warm and fuzzy. Alpaca fleece. It's often used for knitwear, and the Canadian Western Agribition has a competition to determine the best of the best.
People they share their fleeces off in the spring and they wrap them up and they send them to us in the mail or in person. They come from all over the country, so from BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Ontario, Quebec, they come here to us. They're divided into color groups, so you have your white, your light, fawn, brown, black, gray, and multicolored. And in those colors, they also divide them into age groups, so the alpacas are competing against animals in their own age group.
Exactly, and you can feel like it's soft.
They look from hip to shoulder on the fleece. They want to see that the fibers should look the same in their crimp, in their brightness, in their fineness, so the micron, the size of the fiber itself. Every breeder wants to see that scorecard because it helps them decide their breeding, what they want to see on their farms. If you're winning, you're showing that your farm is doing what they want to be doing, and it's a good thing. So everybody wants those scorecards and everyone wants to be doing better. So that's why we enter.
That's it for us tonight. For news anytime, head to cbc.ca/sask or subscribe to the CBC Saskatchewan YouTube channel. Glenn Reed will be back with more local news at 11. Thanks for watching.